All right, so today I'm really excited because this is the first episode of making Build Wars Extreme. Um, so what today's plan is I am going to be showing you the old worlds that I made before I came to this point to where I actually can create Build Wars Extreme while recording and not have too many bugs. Hopefully, we'll see. This first world I have on my phone though. And so I'll be using it on here. I'm using a screen sharing thing, so that's why stuff is going to be a little lower on this side. All right, so this is the first area of Builder Wars. And as you can see, there's blocks here, and those are barrier blocks. So barrier blocks are pretty much just invisible bedrock. And you can only see it if you're in creative mode or and holding this barrier block in your inventory. I believe this area is 64 by 64 by 100, I think. And one of the problems that I had when I made this is, as you can see, I'm getting iron and gold, and I'm using the give command for that on a repeating command block with delay. But the problem with that is that once my inventory is full, like with tons of random stuff, what happened is I would just start pooping out gold and iron. Let's see, I'm going to go and fill my inventory real quick. And this was a big problem because that meant that other people could steal your money and gold as you were playing, and it would also have a trail to show where you were. Okay. Now that I have my inventory full, we gotta fill up on gold and iron. Since I am in creative mode, it will keep giving me gold and iron, except it'll just delete it. That's how it works, I think. In creative mode, you can pick up everything, but everything gets deleted that you pick up. So like if your inventory is full and you pick up a command block, you don't have a command block anymore. So I'm going to go and go in survival. Alright, see, yeah, and there it goes. I'm starting to just poop out iron and gold, and it's just leaving a trail behind me, and diamonds. So that's another thing that I learned is I have gold, iron, diamond, amethyst, and emerald and prismarine as all available ores for different levels. Then I have shops, which are two ninjas, or like they're NPCs. See if I can summon one. They're NPCs with or villagers with trade tables. The thing that I used to make these guys is craft add-ons. And so that's how I create the custom trade tables. I did switch to a computer, or not a computer, but a laptop, which is what I'm using to share the screen. Because using the iPhone, I can't copy and paste codes, so I was writing huge amount of code over and over and over again, with each line only being a little different. Alright, this is the trade table for my sister's ninja, so she and me were the first ones who came up with the team, and so that's why I added her and me as the people. But as you can see, you can buy blocks, and then there's colored wool, some stuff that needs amethyst, that type of stuff. And if you also see that there's these bedrock ages everywhere, those are the three other islands. And why mine is down is because I set down my totem. And a totem is a thing that you start with. It's supposed to be somewhere. I wonder if it died. This is a world that I was testing on. Man, this is annoying. I'm just pooping out so much. There we go. I can pick all this up, and this would lag your game out after a while. But, I mean, with being this close range with everyone, the game would end like really fast. And that's another thing, is that when you would win, the game would just keep going. So you would have no way to stop the game other than to clear your own spawn point and teleport back. That was a thing that was really frustrating. Also, if you see here, I can break all of this down, and then whenever emeralds try and spawn, they just fall. So like here, there's stuff you can't see it because there's so much that disappears, but it was that. And we can wait here for a little bit, see if another one spawns. Alright, I don't see it spawning yet. It's taking a long time. So as we wait, I just want to show you something that I did that I do think is really helpful. This is just goes straight into the void. At least that's what it looks like. That's what I wanted it to look like. I'm super high in the air. If you look at the coordinates, I am really high. But really, the ground is there, I think. No, it is a void. Okay, well, I just died. And I'm back here. So, okay, I'm happy about that. It's been a while since I played it, so I don't remember everything. But, since there is a void, that's good. But one of the things that happened that I did not know how to extend a command block's range. So I ended up making it to where here the command block would set down a redstone block, then clear the redstone block, set another one here, set another one here, and then finally get to the coding. The thing about this world is all the coding is right here, and very visible from here. And if you can also see that it's a lot harder to do coding on a phone. Alright, you can see that there are holes in the wall. Ginormous holes that did not load in, and I had no idea. And so you could literally just walk out if you wanted to, and that area would not be saved. Man, it's glitching so much. Alright, and another thing that what I was going to show you before I died is that to be able to kill the players sooner, I added structure void, which pretty much it stops all materials, or it stops all liquids. So it's a 2-layer, let's see, yeah, 2 layers. There are quite a few holes. I don't know how that happened. Do creepers or things blow holes in this? Maybe TNT? I wonder. I'm going to test that right now. This would be really good to know, because that looks like a crater from a TNT. I'm going to set grass bar like that. Okay, and now it doesn't look. Oh, it does. So TNT. So I have a video to where I blew up a ton of stuff and to an island, and this is what must have happened, and then it just kept loading that in. Oh man, well, I'm happy I have 2 layers and a void under it. Yeah, well, now I know that. But if you don't have TNT in your game, this is a great way to have players land on this, because when you fall, you can fall right through it. But it's a tester, so like kill the player if they're on Structure Void, and then that makes it to where players die right here instead of all the way down there. But the items fall through this, because if I drop an item, the item, oops, if I can get out, the item will fall through Structure Void. Okay. So those main problems was these guys could be kicked off. These islands with the bedrock, even though it is like a safe from other players, which is the reason it was called Builder Wars, is that you could build without having players attack. But some of these islands weren't complete and there was like holes in them. Also, you could have this mined, and then the bedrock, when the bedrock disappeared, you could fall into tons of holes and just keep dying. Which is another problem, is that if somebody, so what happens is there's a certain area where you'll be spawned when you die on your island, but a player could just mine straight down right there to where every time you spawn, you just die immediately. And the other problem was that I used barrier blocks, and I had to add all of these blocks by code because I used the fill command, but it was still a lot of trouble to try and measure that out right. And the coding was within view of the area, if I can find it. Yeah, within view of the area. The walls were not complete in some areas. The area is super small, only 64 by 64 by 100, I think. And that is way too small for it. All the items, when you got them, if your inventory was full, you'd start pooping them out. So there was a ton of problems in this, and I ended up never playing this game again, actually, because it was just so much. There was this really cool thing, though, I liked about this. This is my favorite thing doing, is that you could select different bases, which I guess I could go and show you. I'm going to try on adventure as soon as I get in this area. Alright, so you've got, like, you click this button, and then here would build up the structure, and you can see that base, and then you could click this button and it would build that structure. So pretty much this was like giving you like this was supposed to be, you could choose which of these would be your starter base. But I never ended up making it to where it would actually work. I had no idea how to make it. All the coding, which is another big problem, is everywhere. Like, this is really random. I had a ton of random stuff I was testing in this world a lot, so it wasn't just making this game. I tried doing redstone, but I had no idea how to do redstone. To choose the teams, you would click a button, it'd add the tag to you and give you the particle above you. So like I'm on note, and so it'd give me a note particle. But there was no way to win, so you'd have to take down your own totem and die to restart the game, which was a really sad thing about it, because this game works, but you can't win it, so that was the sad part. Now let's go to the next world, which we actually did play. I called this one Builder Wars 2. I did some art for it, but it's got some problems that I wanted to fix. But the main thing is, it was a game that could be reset without you having to manually do it. I made it to where you could actually play the game and win. Alright, so this is where you started. In this room, this is a barrier block here. You can't really see it, but there's barrier blocks here, so you can't walk out. You can see the area over there. There's generators. The generators are made of a deny below and an allow above. So a deny and allow. Deny denies the player, if they're not an operator, to place a block or break a block above a deny block. But allow does the opposite. So if you're an adventurer or if you're not an operator, you can still build or mess with blocks above an allow. And so I did one on top of the other, so you couldn't destroy where the generator put the amethyst or emerald or whatever, but you could still build above it. This is the choosing room. You have to walk over this to become part of the playing thing. There's no particles yet. I don't have a team yet. So I'm going to walk over here, and you'd stand on the block and click it and then say your name and then joined heart team or note team or flame team. And this is how I actually made it to where you could win, is that I have scoreboards, and each scoreboard, like every time you click a button to change your team, each scoreboard is changed depending on your tag. So right here, if you have a flame tag, it would remove flame team scoreboard variable by 1. Same with heart team. If you had heart team on, note team, in team, like all 4 teams, even if you had already had an in team tag, it would remove 1 from the team, even though you're joining it again. Then if you had a flame team tag, it would take it away. Heart team tag, take it away. In team, like all the teams, it would take away all your tags of a team and then add the in team tag again, because it is, if you choose in team, it would add the in team tag again, then say that you joined in team, and then add the variable up by 1. That's how I tracked it, because if I had testers in this room, I think, no, not in there, here, this is my testing room. So if you win, if your team wins and there's nobody else, it tests if every scoreboard with every team scoreboard is at 0, so all players are dead. Then it would say draw, do all this custom stuff, and then set a block right there. So it always set a block over here and run all this resetting thing, which went way farther than I expected and ended up not working, which again, another problem here is that things are better organized, but they're still really messy, especially in the other room I'll show you. But pretty much, so this is draw, I think. So if we open up, it tests if in team has 0, note team has 0, heart team has 0, flame team has 0. And then if that's true, it sets a block here. And then that says, draw. And then does the same thing on the other ones, except if in team is 0, if note team is 1 or more, the dot means or more. Heart team is 0 and flame team is 0, so that means every team is dead except for note team. Then set the block there, and what it does is it says, oh, note team wins. And this is the money area. So this, you can show money and don't show money. So this is how I fixed the gold and iron popping out of you when your inventory is full. I fixed it by making a money scoreboard. You can see that, and I've got 95 right now. Every time it's hard to see because of the thing over here, that little bar, my screen recording thing. But you can see that it's raising up my money, but every second. I'm on heart team, but then as soon as I jump to the portal, it teleports me to the area, and it says round starting, structures loading. There's all these things, but the thing I was really sad about is it doesn't actually load. All it's doing is teleporting you here so that the structures can load, but all the pauses in this, all the titles at your action bar, those aren't really doing anything. I just put those there to make it look cool. And then same with this, builder orders too, made it to make it look cool. You can see that my money just reset. and all my inventory is empty, and it puts me here. Heart team wins because I am the last player, and it ends the game. And how I test if someone has gone out, so how I know to remove one of the variables when someone dies is when you die, your spawn point gets set to this again, that little block in the beacon. And if you are standing here and you have the tag flame, it removes flame team by 1, and then it removes your flame tag. So pretty much, if you're flame team, you step on that block, it removes your flame team by 1 and removes your tag instantly. And that's the same with the other 4 teams. And then this, I think this is the ending game. So after playing a while, there was a bug to where your team, when it switched, and all the teams' scoreboards would have like -1 or 5 when there's only 1 player. And so this was like the reset of everything that I had to add, to where you would remove all of the tags and then set all the scoreboards to 0. And that's how I fixed that bug. But again, I wasn't expecting that, and so I've got this random thing which you can easily see from down there. And the most chaotic room is this room. Not that room, this room, wherever the hole is. I had a ton of holes in the roof to find the coding rooms. This room is most chaotic because there's a ton of random blocks everywhere that it's really hard to tell what's going on. And as you're checking for stuff, it's really easy to just pop block and break the command block, and then you have no idea what the command in the command block was. And so I'd have to test the game, everything. I'd have to try doing everything at once to see what is not working. I'm gonna fly over here to show you one of the problems. Well, first I'll show you this. Each corner has a structure block, and these structure blocks are surrounded by border blocks. The whole area is surrounded by border blocks, so instead of having barrier blocks everywhere filling this whole area, I found out about border blocks to where all the way up to the limit of building and all the way down to the limit of building, this is blocking you from escaping. All creatures, items, and entities cannot walk past this unless you're an operator in creative mode. And I've got 4 of these everywhere. Okay, let's go down here. So this is where you would start. I made all these islands a lot bigger so they have more so you can mine. I've got these chests, and what are in these chests is it has bread, a transfer station, this is your transfer station, a sword, some armor. But the thing is, there's only 1 pair of all of this, so if you have other people, you can't get it. I'm just gonna go and put all this on. It's glitching a little. Okay, there we go. Gonna head up. And then with these guys, I can set them down, and these are different traders. So these are ninjas, design ninjas, because it's a ninja team, to organize out stuff a little more. This is like special things. If you buy this, it looks super expensive, but if you buy this bookshelf, when you stand on it, you turn invisible for a little bit of time. This thing, I think it's something. I forgot. Anvil gives you strength. Fire, if you stand on the furnace, it gives you bread. Because I didn't have any food in this and I needed to add food. This is the redstone, where you buy redstone. And that's one of my favorite things about Bed Wars is I got to add redstone. And I think that'd be really fun if, like in Bed Wars, you can make redstone contraptions. This is the weapons and armor. And if you can tell, there's no shields. And these are the blocks. Oh, there are barely any blocks. Okay. But these are all the shops. Now, again, the problem was people would try and kill these guys. But what I did here is their health is so huge that you would have to stand here for an hour to actually kill them. And if you see that as I hit them, they're supposed to be being knocked back because of the damage. But I have codes that are teleporting them to right where they are. So no matter what, they're teleporting to wherever they're placed. So as soon as I spawn one, he's going to stay there until he either dies or is despawned. But now let me show you this, the transfer station. So it's this little chest. And when you go into it, it says, "Welcome to the shop. Gold 10 for 10 gold for 20 money, 10 iron for 10 money." So you could buy gold and iron trading for your money scoreboard, which I have off right now. But trading for your money scoreboard, it would have you buy, and if I turn on the sound, which I forgot to turn on, you can hear the buttons. And what I have happening is it runs all these commands for it to test if you have the money, and if you have it, then it gives you it, then it takes away the money, then it opens the dialogue again. And also test it in radius. So if I'm standing here, somebody buys something from this transfer station, I'll get it instead of them, which was another problem that I had, which I tried fixing in the other game, the game that we're going to be like Build Wars Extreme, but it's super difficult. Alright, here is another problem, is that this looks ugly. The deny and allow, I tried adding some design, but honestly it looks disgusting. And so I ended up fixing that, or finding out how to fix it in the next one, which I will be doing in Build Wars Extreme. And this is another problem, is that right here, this is from multiple games, and it is not getting deloaded every time a new game starts. So whoever has this team can just go over here and immediately, oh, I fell. Immediately go to this generator or run to that team. And so I found out that I really have to watch to make sure all these edges are cleared, and maybe add a bug fixer to where it takes out all the edges on this side and on the outside. And another problem that I fixed was when you spawn down here, the problem was when you would respawn, somebody could dig a hole under you and you would die over and over and over again. That's why I put bedrock under each land and had them spawn at the bottom of land. Build Wars Extreme though, I found a much more fun way to do that. To start the game, instead of spawning below or on top, you spawn somewhere. And yeah, I'll show you in the next one. But that is pretty much it. So again, problems were unfinished was one. I ended it way before I had finished everything. The button and standing on the block is a little inconvenient. Codes are super messed up. Everywhere, they're like all random places. Another problem is that this portal where you start, somebody could accidentally walk into it before somebody has a team tag, and so they'd get stuck sitting inside one of the barrier block loading rooms. And not as many materials and blocks and stuff, which I'm not sure if I'll be able to fix that with the next shop that I'll be doing, but with the shop I'm doing in Build Wars Extreme, I can add to it. So even though it won't work for right now, to add tons of blocks, I can create the game and then add more.